What is going on, traders? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. Happy Tuesday to you. So today I wanted to go over Bitcoin in the short term and give you my perspective on it. We did hit the 21 EMA. I've been saying that for weeks now that we're going to be retesting the 21 EMA. It's not rocket science. It's just a matter of the trend. And I'll show you how the 21 EMA acts on uptrends, especially with Bitcoin. It's a very reliable indicator, which is why we continue to track it. And then I'll go over what we can expect Bitcoin to do before the halving and after the halving based on the last two halvings that you see here in the blue. We'll definitely do a market analysis. The markets are down a bit today as some bad news continues about the coronavirus in China and how that's affecting production of American companies that have large operations in China. We are up 155% on Tesla since entering. Yes, I was saying that there is a bearish candlestick pattern on Tesla. There was this evening star that popped up a couple of weeks ago. However, I also said that we want to see how this pennant plays out, and we don't want to make any brash decisions until we see how this pennant plays out. And then Tesla just jumped 5% above where it closed on Friday. So that's why it's very important to be able to utilize things such as trailing stops or confirmations of certain patterns, right, before making manual decisions whether to sell or buy something. If you want access to the trade alerts, link is in the description. Luckin Coffee, which is the the Chinese Starbucks knockoff, is up 5% today, teetering between 5 and 6% today. I did send out an alert for Luckin Coffee just last week. It was on last Wednesday. And then on the crypto side, we had a leveraged long on Bitcoin entering at 97.50, which was around where the 21 EMA was, and riding that up to about 9,900, which netted us 22% or so of profit. I used 10x leverage. Obviously, different traders use different leverage. Some are crazy enough to use, 25 and 50x. Some use 3x. Whatever fits your risk profile. Also made massive profits on Zcash and Bitcoin Cash, as well as a few others before getting stopped out for profits as the market started tanking over the weekend. For re-entry levels and opportunities, I do send those out in the trade alerts and have been sending them out. So sign up. And I'm also sending an update to my portfolio today, which looks like this. It gives you a snapshot of both my crypto and stocks portfolio. All right, let us get right into Bitcoin analysis. So the 21 EMA, the reason that I use it is because for one, the EMA weights recent price action heavier than it does previous price action, right? So it's not like an SMA like these, the green, orange, and yellow here. These are my three SMAs or simple moving averages, and it just takes an average of the price, over a specific interval. So this is the 200-day, this is the 100-day, this is the 50-day, right? So just the average price divided by the number of days. Whereas the EMA, the exponential moving average, has recency bias and gives weighting to recent price action more so than previous price action. So it does work very well in tracking the real-time price action as it is developing. And if you look at the 21 EMA in previous rallies, you'll see here, this is the rally that took us from, it was like February 2019 to about June 2019. We went from, this is when we hit the low, the 3,300 low, and went all the way up to 14,000 within a few months. But you can see the 21 EMA, how it uses it as almost a track, like a railroad track, where, dips above it, retraces, retests it, moves on to newer highs, retest it again, move on to newer highs, retest it again. Now, it doesn't obviously have to come exactly at the 21 EMA. You could see it wick down below a few times or even close just below it on a few candles, but it is a marker or a tracker of price as it does rally. Bitcoin tends to find support at the 21 EMA. Now, on a price decline, you could kind of say the opposite, where the 21 EMA acts as resistance. For the purposes of this example, we're using it for the recent price rally. So that's why I was fairly confident in the leverage trade from the 21 EMA because of the previous bounces. Even on this rally, you see, once we popped above the 21 EMA back in the beginning of January, we retested at the 21 EMA or close to it several times. And I don't expect this to be any different, especially with the golden cross coming up here, right? So I do expect to get back to at least 10,400. Now, why wouldn't I expect to see a major rally or a major price hike in the short term? Well, it's because of the halving that's coming up. So obviously the price doesn't have to do, the asset doesn't have to perform exactly as it did before. However, we do have the halving coming up in May. So if I just put a vertical line here in May, you'll see these are the last two halvings, this one in 2012, this one in 2016. And what we tend to see is the price drop about 30% or more just a short while before the halving. So in this case, October 2012, the price dropped 30% that month, including the wicks, and the halving was in November, so just a month before. However, in the second halving, we saw about a 26% price drop in January, and the halving itself was in July. Also, what's interesting about the 2016 halving is that the month of the halving and the month after, we saw a total of about another 30% price drop after the halving took place, before obviously an eventual rally. So that 30%, if we use that as sort of an indication, the previous 30% drops, an indication of the future of what's to come in the future. We already saw a 30% drop on Bitcoin. We went all the way down to about 6,400 and retested the 21 EMA on the monthly before rallying again. Now you could see that the 21 EMA doesn't really get retested before the halvings in the previous halvings. We could ride close to it as we are doing now, but actually retesting and touching it, that hasn't happened in the last couple of halvings. And just to show you how good of an indicator the 21 EMA is, if you look at Bitcoin on the weekly, for instance, you'll see that during the famous 2017 rally, you'll see that that started really in 2016, that since 2016 on the weekly, we've been hitting the 21 EMA, rallying, hitting it again, rallying, hitting it again. So in a rally, the 21 EMA for Bitcoin, whether you're looking at the weekly or the daily, is a really great indicator. Another thing to note is that, you tend to see Bitcoin rally before the halving, but not reach the previous high. So you see here, there was a previous high back in 2011 here, and we rallied just shy of that. There was another previous high here in 2013, and we rallied just shy of that. So this high here, this obviously represents the 20K. I don't think we will get to 20K, and I've said this time and time again, I don't think we'll get to 20K before the next halving. I think that the ceiling is somewhere in the 10,500 to maybe 12,500 range before the halving itself. Now, I do obviously feel like we are going to be on the same trend, follow the same trend, after the halving, which means that we will see new highs in 2021, maybe past $20,000. So that is my outlook on Bitcoin. Again, sign up to the trade alerts if you want access to the entries that I'm going to send out for Bitcoin as well as other coins. Looking at the markets, we are seeing a bit of a retracement in the markets today. 0.87% on the Dow, 0.5% on the S&P 500, 0.4% on the NASDAQ. And this is all due to really the slowdown that the coronavirus spread is having on the market in China, which is also, reverberating throughout the global economy as well, with oil down again. And the American companies in China, specifically Apple, is saying that production is down. So that is having an effect on the market. But what's bullish is it isn't having as big an effect as it should, or as one would think. So Apple's only down 2.5% today. And, it keeps, again, the 21 EMA on this rally. Apple keeps retesting the 21 EMA before establishing new highs. This might be a good short-term entry on Apple here, the dip to just below the 21 EMA. I will send that out in the trade alerts when I think there is a good entry. Anyway, short, quick video. That is it for today. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. If you have a question, comment, agreement, disagreement, leave it in the comment section below. Hit that thumbs up if you got anything out of this video. Sign up if you want access to the trade alerts, crypto, stocks, options, etc. You also get access to the group voice chats. We just had one last night, actually. The group voice chats where we discuss trades, strategies, entries, exits, stocks, cryptos, TA, charts, etc. Stay safe out there, traders. Peace.